Hello everybody and welcome to a blind commentary of Parasyte the Maxim, or Parasyte Maxim, I am not exactly sure. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be a semi-blind commentary as you can see from the title, and I shall now explain what that means. This means that I have some basic knowledge of the series, because I have actually read the manga. I don't know how far I read it, I can't remember anything really, other than there were some battles with other parasites. I can remember the basic premise and all that, so the basic information in the first episode, I believe, won't be all that interesting, but we'll see what I have to comment on. And that's about it. I really just remember the basic premise, but I can't remember how far I even read, so... I remember there were some battles, and they were quite gruesome and interesting. That's about it. We'll see how this goes. Oh, by the way, outro if you wish to skip that. And if you are new to the channel by this series, welcome. I hope you'll stick around. Yeah. Also, let me get that better. Do I have anything else to say? I know, of course, I know the basic premise and how it goes. I can't remember the names of the characters. I can't actually remember any other characters other than the main characters, the two main characters, I suppose I should say. And that's about it. So let's just get on with the show proper. And of course, I have not seen the anime at all. I actually was not aware that there was an anime of this manga, and when I first got the recommendation, I was not actually aware that it was based on the manga that I had read. I was just like, that's a funny coincidence. But after seeing the title card, yeah, I can see that. I recognize that. Let's get on. Quite horrific. I have heard this song somewhere. Oh, apologies, I am going to have to mute this for copyright reasons. But I have actually heard this song somewhere. That is quite the startling start for the series, I must say, and really does give a good framework for it to start with a very horror style of premise. And yes, I know the song is going on the background for me, but you can't hear it. Yeah. This is actually quite an interesting little opening already. Ooh. Symbolism. Oh boy, actually there would be quite a lot to parse here. Now I wonder if Mother's Basement actually has done an... I don't think he has taken a closer look at this opening, but there's much to say about this. I mean, the visuals for this... Oh, there was sex in this, was there? Oh, that's gonna be fun to censor. Anyways, what was I saying? Whatever. That's a rather iconic face look for the Parasyte there. But yeah, I do remember that the Parasyte transformations, or rather their reveals, were quite iconic and quite, shall we say, horrific, or alien, I suppose, as well. Huh. Now, if I do remember, in the manga we actually got the landing of the aliens. If they are aliens. I'm not sure. I can't remember the origin of them. I'm gonna call them aliens anyways. I think the manga started with them landing on the Earth, actually, so... That's just... I mean, I suppose for framing device that makes sense, so... It'll be an interesting little flashback in the later part of the episode, I hope. Oh man, okay, that's a really good way to start. Like, that's a really good setting for that. A disconnect between... Shit, I can't remember the name. The guy and the protagonist and his arm. Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good. That's a good setting for or foreshadowing of that disconnect. So that's pretty neat. Just a good set for that, or start for it. Actually, I do remember one thing. If I remember correctly, the alien was named later after his right hand. Like I can't remember, but I know it will be named after what the right hand is called in Japanese. Random trivia, I remember. But yeah, no other memories about this, huh? I mean, I know the main character will go under quite a tremendous transformation as well. That's actually that is something that I really find disgusting, is bugs going under your skin, because I mean, considering that especially around here where I live, when you're walking around in the forests, there's quite a lot of small, lovely little insects that do like to go under your skin and burrow in there and just lay eggs there and just leave horrible... Oh god, oh god, now that's disgusting. I don't want to think about that. But it's just absolutely disgusting to think about. Oh boy, that's... I must say, I really do like the way that they are setting up the autonomy of the right hand, so that's... It's very blatant foreshadowing, but it's pretty good foreshadowing nonetheless. That looks truly alien. That's... Oh man. I do remember the manga being visually quite striking, but man, seeing it in motion actually is just... It should be a bit more disgusting, but it's more fascinating than anything else. It looks so good. Oh, bingo. Also, I didn't remember that, but that's a freaking good... That's one prevalent thing that I do like, that the show takes pretty good advantage already, which is, I have a question. Where could I find the answer to? Hey, let's go to the internet. That's just, it's just neat that he decided to actually use internet. It's, you know, it's rather convenient. Oh, that's rather interesting that they don't have that they neither have memories of where they came from, so they are... That really does raise the question of both their mission and their origin. That's a rather good mystery setup. That those sound effects and that, like, that how that alien just work, or how it is animated, just offers quite a fun little bit of physical comedy there. That's actually makes it a bit more light-hearted than it actually would seem to be, which is actually a pretty good way to actually, how nonchalantly Shinichi actually also talked to it. Like, actually, it leads quite a lot of brevity into this, which is rather crucial considering that it is supposed to be a horror series, so that's pretty good. But let's continue.
何が？
だって虫が。
Oh. That's already quite an interesting sign, but I'm gonna go into that a bit later, but that's a pretty good sign, which I know for a fact there will be quite a crucial theme, which will be transformation of the main character and how he changes over the series. Can't quite remember all of the things that will change, but I do remember him becoming quite a bit more buff. But that's a pretty good show of like immediately showing that he is getting rid of the fear of bugs due to, well, having something quite a bit worse going on with his hand right now. And of course, I'll just briefly mention the appetite as well. But that's so obvious as well.
起きたのか。
同種だよ。
なんだって？でもなんでわかるんだ？
Jeez, that's pretty exquisite. Already having a really big encounter in the first episode, which I honestly didn't think that would happen. Which is it's going to be a pretty good setup because, you know, we get to probably see some action and a bit more intensity as well. So, yeah. Can't remember what exactly was going on with that, but we'll see. Well, that's quite the mellow ending theme. Not really all that much to say about it, though. It's... Well, not really fitting for a neither horror nor mystery series, so... Nor action. But ending themes usually are quite mellow, so it's... whatever. No, yeah, there's not much to say about this, so... But I'll just stick this here, nonetheless, so you all can see the visuals here. I do like the minor difference in the general style of the artwork there. That's a bit good. And if that's going to be a teaser of the next episode, I'm going to skip that for safety reasons, or spoiler reasons. So, time for the outro. Well... It does seem rather interesting of a series, and certainly will be worth watching, because I am both fan of horror and mystery, and this seems to be heavily geared towards both of those, though I do, it would probably be going more for the horror more than the mystery, and probably more for the action than mystery as well, but we'll see about that. And so far I must say it is quite interesting, at the very least. It's certainly it is something that has my interest, and I will certainly want to watch this more. Yeah. Let's go over the first impressions of it, however. So, there is not much to say yet. Let's go over the music first, because I know this is an interesting theme of the music. You tended to use quite a bit more electronic music than is rather usual for these kinds of series, which I don't dislike. I quite like electronic music, both EDM and all that sort of jazz, so that's quite nice, but it's unusual. And it's, at the very least, it stands out, but it's not exactly... It stands out because it is special. It doesn't stand out because it is extraordinarily good. The music itself is, well, it's not bad, but it is adequate. It's just adequate. It's just fine. It's nothing extraordinarily that I would talk about that much. But it does it fulfills its purpose. But surprisingly enough, when it turned into a bit more like electronic style, it did stick out to me, because it was just a rather distinct sound there, which I suppose really did emphasize the mood for the more intense scene there. So that's kind of good, actually. And then let's talk about the visuals, because that's something where I quite like it, because the animation is rather fluid and it is rather good, and it's just pretty good, nice to look at, and the visual design itself, while it is quite common. The parasites, I hope that's what they're going to be called, aliens, whatever. They have quite a striking design in which they are both distinct. They are both distinct, and you are easily distinguishable as being alien, clearly. But they are all probably going to be rather different from one another, and their transformations are immaculately beautiful looking, even if they are quite gruesome and grotesque. And that's pretty good for emphasizing the horror feeling of the show, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it does look quite good. And of course, it does just animate the more intense and moving Sakuga scenes. I don't know how to. I don't know exactly the correct terminology for that, but it does look pretty good in motion as well. So the animation is pretty good, and of course the visual design itself is no slouch either. Mostly though, I really do like the aliens because they are alien and they are quite bizarre and odd and weird looking and just alien. And that's what they should look like, and that is really good. Yeah, otherwise there's nothing much distinct to say. Although I do like that the two female characters, leads, those two schoolgirls, they were distinctly quite different from one another. That's not that hard to do, but they were so different from one another that's already a pretty good plus. Nothing else to say about it yet. Yeah, well, the story itself, from this episode alone, there's not much to say. It's just an intriguing setup for everything, and that's pretty good. And it already has set up few themes, which will be growth, development, change, adaptation, these kinds of things. And that's already pretty good that they have set up it here. They have shown already a case of it, but they will be also showing it hopefully later on in the series. Don't exactly know, but yeah, it's just an assumption. And memory, of course, very brief memory, but whatever. Yeah, now the episode itself actually has something interesting going on with it, and that is it has actually rather good pacing. It just hits quite a lot of story notes, and it hits them quite well, and it had a lot of the information glimpsed over rather quickly, where it was easily understandable without being overbearing, and it was easy to grasp immediately, and they didn't need to dwell all that much more time in it, and yet purposefully they left quite a lot of details unclear, because that will be part of the mystery, and it will be interesting to see how that goes. So yeah, I'm rather positive about the series. It is turning out to be quite interesting, quite exciting, quite entertaining, hopefully horrific, gruesome, brutal, bloody, violent, it is gonna be worthwhile. Yeah. Now I kind of wanna... The opening itself, actually, I didn't talk that much about it, but it had quite a lot of little nice details into it, which I really hope that somebody has done a little more in-depth analysis of, because from what I already saw from it, it has quite a lot of nice little details with both foreshadowing of probably some future parasites, aliens, whatever, and of course quite a lot of, just in general foreshadowing about themes and such. But I won't be going too deeply into that. Somebody else can do my work for me about that. Or I might do that at some point, whatever. Anyways, it is certainly entertaining. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you all in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Gunmo out. Thank you very much for watching.